The drink, we're clicking to the environment. We're clicking to the environment. We're drinking to the environment. Yes.
And we are back on the frickin' drink sustainability with my man, the myth, the legend, with Edgar Allan Joe coffee, Dillon. Cafiero.
What up? Cafiero.
Cafiero, I'm sorry. I totally butchered your name. Wow, I suck.
No, you're good. It's okay. I butcher my name sometimes too.
Oh, dude, everyone butchers my last name like all the time. I'm just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
All right, Teddy Winchester.
Thanks. All right, man. Cheers to it.
All right, bro.
Cheers to being on the show, man. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
All right. All right, cool. So we were talking last about fair trade and how that is actually incorporated into your coffee. I actually wanted to like touch up into like what, when you're looking for like if fair trade has a stamp on their products or whatever, which apparently they do, which I didn't actually like totally know, but they do.
Typically they do.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I want to like just for those that don't know or don't know what it looks like, I'm just gonna like put up here really quick. So hold on 1 second. Excuse me. So share. So like right here is like the fair trade stamp of approval, which is awesome. So like when you see that, or even you could just like look up, products that are fair trade certified and go from there. So yeah. So when you see this, you are good to go. Okay.
or what you typically, I mean, there's so many different like variations of it, but this is.
Oh yeah, that's true.
This tends to be a popular logo for fair.
Oh, that's cool.
Trade on coffee bags.
No, I can see it. I can see it.
It's not showing. It's like green on the background, but yeah, it's like but you look at a Starbucks logo that has fair trade, it's gonna look different from like a Grover Mills fair
trade
weird,
logo.
Though.
How it's like different.
Yeah, some say certified, some say international. I think it just depends on which stamp they use. But there's quite a few different designs of it.
Here we go. Here, I'm just gonna share my screen one more time. So like this is like pretty much the grand scope of fair trade. Oh, that makes sense because I also saw this last night. Cool. Oh yeah, look at that. You're a coffee band.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty across the board almost for the coffee brands, but there are some different iterations to it.
Yeah. This is actually really cool though.
Yeah. It's
like which one is it? Like this one right here. Like that almost kind of in a weird way looks like the yin yang sign in a weird way, like balance.
It does. It also looks like an awkward looking parrot if you like inverse it.
Yes, it does. I was not thinking that, but yeah, it kind of does actually.
My brain works in opposite ways.
But
I mean, I don't have it on my bag. I don't have the logo on my bag, and honestly, just being full transparent, just because like I'm a startup, I'm already making these bags from scratch, like whether it's the stamp of the name with the logos, and it's just trying to find stickers of them has been like kind of like I don't know if it's like legal to do that or not, to just like print out a sticker and just pop it on there. But
I don't think it really is, but I mean,
I'm sure it's not an issue. It's just I say it on the website, in the coffee description that they are fair trade, and kind of go from there. Yeah, but that's the beauty of like starting a business. You learn and you grow, and
yeah.
Things change, bags and designs change, and it's I'm sure it's gonna find its way on there eventually.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna actually just read off a couple of notes like that when I looked up fair trade certification. So like just a little bit of I'm gonna dive into like again what fair trade is, and then a little bit of history background for those of you that are intrigued by it. So fair trade, I guess it could be like commission, right? Like certification, commission kind of thing. So it's a nonprofit organization and leading certifier of fair trade products in North America. This trusted fair trade trademark stamp of approval means that the product passed the rigorous, strict fair trade standards. So the standards are as follows: promotes healthy livelihoods and safe working conditions, protection of the environment, and strong, transparent supply chains. So it pretty much reflects on what you just said about being transparent about it.
Right.
The FTC is similar. Oh, this is my what I was saying before about how it's kind of similar to the USA's OSHA Act, Occupational Safety and Health Administration Act, large agency within the Department of Labor. Back in December 29th of 1970, President Richard Nixon signed this into law. So it's a mission like the FTC, that is to audit and enforce and reassure the safety and healthy working environments for men and women. So this just goes back to, in the less developed countries, they do the same exact thing.
Right.
They enforce by actually providing training, education, and resources for everyone, for all the workers. So now a little bit of history on the FTC. In 1946, when a woman named Edna Ruth Byler, hope I said her last name right, began importing needle crafts from low income women in South America. Edna laid the foundation for the first fair trade organization. It actually started to become known as the Mennonite Control Committee, which I never even heard of. That it's actually kind of interesting. And then that actually inspired another organization. It's Serve, SERRV International in 1949. And then in 1989, since both organizations had the same vision in mind, this really turned into modern day World Fair Trade Organization. So how cool is that? So I'll start with the women Edna buying stuff from South America.
Good old Edna.
Thank you, Edna.
Yeah, thank you, Edna is right. Blazing a trail in any kind of movement, I guess, is always, it's got to start somewhere. So,
oh, hell yeah.
That's really it.
Hey, this whole
someone's got to do it.
Really started about 15 years ago, but just caught fire in the recent 5-10 years, which is interesting. But earlier than ever, I guess.
Compounds, people more and more people.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what's it called? Would you like to say anything about that?
You pretty much covered it. You pretty much had the tail on that. So, I mean, yeah.
So So let's like backtrack a little bit. So like what and I mean I think you kind of like mentioned this in the last segment, but like what made you come up with Edgar Allan Joe as your coffee brand? Like why couldn't it just been like Dillon Sees Coffee or whatever?
Dillons.
Like
You know what? No, it could have been anything.
yeah,
My
exactly.
name's Dillon Cafiero. It could have been decaf. You know, it's decaf.
That's actually
Decaf.
Decaf Coffee Co.
Which fun fact? My decaf is actually called Dillon Cafero's decaf because of DCAF for my name. So I was like,
Right,
no, I
right.
had to do it. I had to do it.
I was gonna say like you cannot do that.
Right. It was an opportunity and I had to grab it. So, you know, I wasn't like very big with like, you know, literature or like English or like, I mean, I speak it, but like English classes or anything like that. And you know, once we all kind of got to high school, they started teaching us like more complex writers, and one of them happened to be Edgar Allan Poe. And honestly, out of like all the people they ever spoke about in class over the 4 years of high school, like Poe always seemed like the one that kind of like stood out the most. Like his writings just made more sense. Like it was just more attractive to listen to and read. And you know, and I grew fond of him a bit. I didn't like religiously read all his stuff, but like I enjoyed his readings. Like I read The Raven, I read The Gold Bug, I read The Telltale Heart. You know, those are, you know, typically the big ones. But he's got dozens and dozens of writings. So but like I enjoyed it, you know, and for somebody who doesn't like any of that, you know, that was big for me. And years ago, I like shortly after high school, I ended up working for Disney World for a little bit. And one of my roommates was a big Poe fan too, like blatantly obvious Poe fan. Like he wouldn't say it, and you just knew. Like you could tell by the way he, you know, the way he talked, the way he, you know, wore clothing, just everything. Like it just screamed Poe. And you know, there was one day where we, you know, we were just like hanging. You know, I had 5 roommates, and he was one of the people home, and I was making coffee, and he asked if he can get a cup of Joe. I was like, yeah. So as I'm making it, I was like, wait, wait a minute. And it just like, it was like a light bulb in my head. And it just, I was like, Edgar Allan Joe. I was like, I'm not going to say that out loud. You know? Even though it was just me and him, I was like, I'm not saying that out loud. So, you know, that idea just like super glued to the back of my head for a while. And, you know, over the years, like I started like, you know, periodically telling people the idea. I'm like, wouldn't that be cool? Like having a coffee business called Edgar Allan Joe. And then, you know, there was a point where I ended up working for Starbucks a little bit, and I started to really fall in love with the coffee culture and everything, and understanding how, you know, besides a cup of coffee is made, but like, you know, what a latte is, what differentiates that from a cappuccino or a macchiato or a campana or anything like that. And, you know, at some point, like there was somebody I told about the idea, and like he was a drawer, and he sketched up this picture, which I'll pull up in a second. He sketched up a quick, like 2-minute drawing,
Mhm.
and it's literally like Poe holding a cup of coffee, and then that was like the clouds just parted in my head, and I was like, this could be a real thing. This could be this could be real. And you know, I got more excited, and you know, I just started, you know, over the years started researching more and more and more, and everything just kind of like came together. And then, you know, with June and the job I had, you know, with us going separate ways, like it just was a golden opportunity. And actually it came full circle. The guy who made that shirt, or this drawing, was actually the one who made this logo. He's the one who came up with my logo, which is pretty cool. You know, and
that was your roommate, right?
no, that was actually my coworker from when I worked at AT&T years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was yeah, and you know, I told him about, you know, I was like, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger. And he's like, let me design it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep my options open, but you know, go ahead. And when I saw it, it just, I was like, that's it. That's what I wanted as my logo. game over. Yeah, it was it. And here I am, January 2021, and my dream is real and it's alive and it's growing and I'm so grateful for it. I mean, it's not where I want it to be yet, because I want it to be a shop at some point, but it's a real life thing. It's it's substance. Like it's like I'm drinking
Right.
out of a mug with my logo on it. I'm wearing a shirt with my mug on it. I'm drinking coffee. That's my coffee. It's cool. It's surreal. So that's really where the name kind of came from. It kind of like just slowly developed into what it is now.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
That's a really cool story. I enjoyed
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a journey. It has.
What kind of, I mean, since we're talking about your story right now, like what were some hurdles to like go through, to actually like launch this?
Relying on others. Like when you first get into the motions of trying to create a business, you need people who can make content, whether it's like social media or shirts or a logo or anything like that, or labels like the Gold Bug label. That was totally another person. Or stickers. Like it's a matter of finding the right people to do the job and getting it done in a good amount of time, and just like you got to hold yourself accountable to hold them accountable almost. And when you're working for somebody your whole life, you kind of it's a different feeling of accountability. Like you have management for a reason, because they handle certain situations. Everything's on your plate. Like you have to do everything. And if you reach out to this company that make labels and you don't hear from them for 3 weeks, that's only your own fault because you didn't follow up with them. You gotta stay on your case. You gotta like keep at it and just be conscious in the moment with everything you're trying to do. And did I make some mistakes? Yeah. I mean, there were some things where it took longer than I anticipated, like the mugs, for example. Like this wasn't supposed to be the design of what the mug was. It was supposed to look more like the shirt, but because I waited too long, I didn't get I had to do a rush order on this, and I couldn't do the full design in enough time. But I needed to launch my business on a certain date because I was promoting that business at a certain date. But you know what? People love this anyway. But still, like that's just an example of something that like you kind of got to be on your ass all the time about. You can't just fuck around, or excuse me, or kind of just pussyfoot about certain things. Like you got to just be regiment. If you want mugs, like you got to be emailing that person, follow up with that person. If they email you back, don't wait 3 days. Like you email them back the moment you get that email. Like it's just it's a lot of growing pains, but you learn as you go. And I've changed because of that. Like I appreciate certain things because of that. And you grow as a better business person when you kind of realize like you're not perfect. You gotta make mistakes to make more improvements in a sense. So there were hurdles. I mean, certain hurdles such as that, such as like really getting the name out there. Like you kind of like doubt yourself sometimes, where you feel like is this really it? Like, or like, am I good enough for this? Like, can I make this big? It's like you're almost more afraid of the massive success than the massive failure, in a sense. Like you look at it like, can I handle this being massively successful? I already know I can handle it being massively a failure because I just won't do anything and then it just happens. You have to put in a shit ton of work for this to become a huge success, and it's intimidating. Humans as nature are complacent to an extent. We want to be comfortable, but to create something big, you've got to be uncomfortable, and you just got to keep pushing forward. So there's always hurdles, and there will be plenty more going forward for me. I already know that, but it's just a matter of how you handle each hurdle. Do you give up on the race, or do you get over that hurdle, anticipate the next one, get over that, and keep going and finish the race. Not just be like, all right, I'll DQ myself. It's you gotta keep going forward. But yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Dude, honestly, as you were talking, I was actually imagining Sylvester Stallone in Rocky when he's like, "Life is gonna fucking beat you down, but it's not how many times you it's not how many times you get down. It's how many times you get up and keep moving forward." That's literally what I just was replaying.
As I was saying that, I was like, I kind of sound familiar.
Yeah, really.
Kind of sound like a quote almost, but it's the truth though. I mean, like it's really on how you handle being knocked down about in your response to move forward with it. I mean, it's
like pretty much just like holding yourself accountable for your goals.
Literally.
Yeah.
It sucks getting knocked down. You want to stay down. You want to be like, all right, well, I failed, and that's it. But like, and the only thing you're thinking of in that moment is that you just failed at some aspect of the business or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, you almost in the moment kind of just completely give up and be like, yeah, there's no way getting out of this. But you just gotta look beyond that and just keep on going. It's the only way. I mean, you look at the people like, not Tim Cook, Steve Jobs, or Jeff Bezos. Like they turned those empires from nothing, and I'm sure they got knocked down 1.5 million times too. But they clearly didn't give up. I mean, Amazon wouldn't be where it was if he gave up, I'm sure. Steve Jobs wouldn't have turned Apple into what it was if he didn't give up. There's the way you look at it is the companies that are massively successful started from someone who did not give up at any point for no reason, and they just kept moving forward. If they did, we wouldn't have Apple, we wouldn't have Amazon, we wouldn't have any of these big companies, we wouldn't have Microsoft. It's and I'm hoping, I know I'll be that at some point. It's just convincing yourself at each hurdle to just keep going. That's it. So, not to sound like.
Well, on that note, we're gonna end on a good note. Best motivation on my show by far.
Hell yeah.
Motivational speech by Dillon.
I'm the new Jim Rohn.
Right? Yeah, that guy's a piece of work too. But he's very, very wise.
He is a wise man.
Yeah. But dude,
11 out of 10, much wise.
Yeah. And a lot of the wisdom is actually really simple. But anyway, we'll get into that later. But dude, I could totally you keep going, you're gonna freaking be very big for one thing. That's my prediction. I'm predicting 8 years. 8 years of just fucking persistence, you'll be good. Only because after 5 years, that's like the magic number of businesses to either crash or fall. You're gonna go to 8. And then you're gonna be like, wow, smooth sailing.
From the outside in, yeah.
Right?
But I can get behind that. I can.
Dude, I'm gonna be supporting you throughout the whole fucking thing. So better keep going, because I like this coffee.
See, that's another thing that also motivates me is because when you have those moments of doubt where you feel like you almost need to give up because of XYZ reasons, you almost feel guilty thinking that because of all the people that love what you're doing, love your product, and you don't want to give up on them on their behalf either. Like you, for example, like you say you love my coffee. Like I would be devastated if I had to close my business because you can't enjoy my coffee anymore. That would itself would ruin me. Like I would hate that. So that's just one other motivator I have to just keep on moving this forward.
Well, I mean, I would be more upset because it's hurting you. I mean, yeah, I want to say it's a luxury. It's almost like a privilege for me to be able to enjoy Edgar Allan Joe coffee. But like, what I'm
It's a
saying
bag of
is,
gold.
huh?
It's a bag of gold.
Yeah. I mean, it literally says gold on the bag, so yeah. But I mean, it's like I said, I'm not like a coffee guru. I'm not that into coffee, but I do like to have a cup of coffee, like, a couple times a week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if just like the one dude that said like he fucking loved your coffee, last segment you were telling me about that, like, he would be upset because I'm sure he would be upset because you're suffering, obviously
Right.
we can have your coffee, but like I would be more upset that it's hurting you because like that's like, a lifeline, so to speak,
Yes and no. I mean, like, and I appreciate hearing that, but I mean, from my point of view, it's more like, I've created this product for you,
Yeah.
and it almost creates such a following, like almost cult-like, and all of a sudden it just goes away, and people get upset, and that's something in my head
Yeah,
that I'm like,
I understand
I don't
that.
want to remove that excitement out of people's lives. Like, I want it to grow and keep continuing,
Right.
and that drives me forward. That's one of many reasons that keeps driving me forward, to be able to
That's awesome,
constantly
dude.
to
That's
constantly
awesome.
have that product in people's hands. It's, imagine like tomorrow, like Starbucks like went out of business and you can never go to Starbucks again. Not to compare, but like, millions of people would be devastated. Like that.
Yeah.
Like, I want that. Like, I want that kind of connection with people. I want, where people are genuinely upset because I'm out of stock of something, which is happened. Like, I've had a lot of people who are like, I need your Raven roast. You're out of stock for like a day. And like, and I
Dude,
need it. Like,
you're
I
already
want to order
building that.
right now.
You're
Yeah, and
literally
that's
there. You just gotta keep on growing the mountain. You're at like a freaking hill right now.
what I'm saying.
You're at a hill. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not even an ant hill. You're at a fucking like, 500-foot hill.
Hill. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's 500 orders, 500-foot hill. Huh?
I got the connection.
Ah.
Clever girl.
I am so smart. Anyway, but yeah, dude, like I'm gonna continue supporting you. Like I could care less about Starbucks, to be honest. I'd rather
Yeah, fuck
see this
Starbucks.
on my shelf in my kitchen than Starbucks, to be honest with you.
See, and the bag even just looks attractive. I mean, it's like,
Honestly, your bag looks pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
it just looks unique, authentic. Like,
Well,
it's
because
just,
also like I mean, I'm not a huge like analyst on like coffee brands or whatever.
not a
Clearly,
coffee bag reviewer.
that too. But what I'm saying is like even for me, because I'm like I would consider myself a beginner at coffee. Like I'm novice. Like I'm not like
We all start somewhere. Greenhorn.
exactly. And like my point is that you have this little thing on the bottom left of your bag. No, that actually helps
Okay.
me though. Like pick out my coffee, and it's like what does it say? Notes of brown sugar and awesomeness. And
I should put that.
right, but like there's a little diagram of a coffee bean, and then it says like level of dark, level of medium, and then light. And this one's clearly you could see that it's a medium.
I'm proud of
But
that
what
little
I'm
coffee
saying is
bean.
like you kind of make it more self-explanatory to like kind of like educate people on like what kind of roast it is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a wine, like how they have like the meter of like sweet,
Dry.
bitter,
Right.
dry,
Yeah.
yeah, like sweet to dry, and then like in the middle, like that's that.
It shouldn't be complicated. It should not be complicated to pick out a good cup of or bag of coffee or anything like that. You should know what you're buying from the get-go. It shouldn't be like a puzzle looking at the bag, be like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. It should be like, okay, that's what it should taste like if I'm a connoisseur. This is the type of roast level. This is the coffee, type of beans that are in there.
Right, exactly.
Do I buy it? Do I not? It should be easy.
And that's why I love your brand, because you are literally I'm not even trying to boast about you more. I'm just saying the reality of it is your website and how you're trying to educate people on how to make the best what was it called, a pour over or something? The pour over, or just a what I do is a French press. I like the French press. My girlfriend got me into that, so thank you. But
French press is
yeah, I mean,
it's a good one.
Yeah, dude, you kept writing me little personalized notes saying thanks for your support. I hope your ratio of your thing, you took care of it. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Thanks, dude. Thanks.
It's all about the personal touch, bro.
Feel good,
That's it.
Made me feel good, and that's just my personal experience. I'm sure there's many other experiences, from Edgar Allan Joe in the New Jersey area.
There's a laundry list of good things to be said. And if you're in the area, Raven Roast will be back in stock. Don't worry, because it's out of stock again.
No Raven Roast, no.
Like I said, it's been the more popular lately for some reason.
I feel it. Well, that's more of a darker roast, right? So I mean, it's winter, so people like the darker, brew, or the darker coffee, the darker, more concentrated.
I'm trying to make the connection with colder weather, darker hours, and I guess a more bold cup of coffee. I don't know. I mean, that's my educated guess, but it's I think that's it might just be this is the season, I guess. I don't know. I mean, people are loving it right now, and maybe it'll be like that the rest of my having the shot, but we'll find out in summer, I guess.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Well, what's called we're actually gonna take another break really quick, and then when we get back, we're actually gonna talk about how coffee really affects or plays with the coincides with the environment a lot and sustainability. So we will be back.
We'll be back.
All right, guys. Hold on for a second, and we will be back on The Drink Sustainability with my buddy Dillon. What? And Edgar Allan freaking Joe. Yeah.
And Joe.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching The Drink Sustainability. Warning. As you watch the show, be sure to clink at your own risk. Drinks may not appear the way that they seem.